Welcome back to FeatherFall. This is Dartimos with Dartimos Dominions. We're going into episode 15 already. In turn 24, welcome to the new year. We are hitting year 2 when things are going to be hitting. It's kind of at this point you're getting solidly into the mid game where your research needs to come online. You need to hit some major you're done hitting probably about one of your major research goals around the 5 or 6 level. I'm a little bit further behind just because I haven't. You really need research items in order to play Yomi research. So let's move into it. I'm still getting Earth Gems and Air Gems from Niflheim, which is really nice. The income has gone up if you haven't caught it recently. More importantly, we have hit construction level 4. My partner is getting super excited about this because at this point he gets to he starts getting his toys, and he really likes he really enjoys doing the thugging and the super combatanting and all this other good stuff, and he absolutely he's starting to make shopping lists. And so right now I don't have the other. Actually, I'm probably gonna need that eventually soon. I've got another notebook that I use notebooks to remind myself or to write things down, and the notebook has shopping lists that he ends up giving me, and we'll get more into the shopping list later, but just realize that he's pretty excited. Construction 4 is pretty awesome. It will go into why. So we found 3 magic sites, which is absolutely amazing. What's that? I want to make sure. Okay. Oh man, that's actually a big battle. Okay, so I hope you guys didn't see it. That's right. He's gonna hit the. He's gonna hit a throne. So this is the throne that we are running into. Sadly, even though these are sages, the sage throne has already been taken, so we know that this is not the sage throne. I mean, not it, we are a little bit worried about him spamming elementals, but like this should be able to take out elementals. But I'm not gonna lie, this is a lot of troops. So let's see how this ends up working, and if it works, and if it does work, why it works, or if it doesn't work, why it doesn't work. Okay. So we just saw a ton of these arrows hit, and if you watch, nothing did any damage. It just straight up doesn't do any damage to them, and that is because our protection's too high and we have shields, and that's why these deer tribe are kind of not frightening at all. And what's entertaining is that they've got 2 rounds of ammunition. I mean, I guess it should be too much of a problem, but if you see, these guys are gonna hit first. And as a result, this is one reason why you might not want to set your troops to fire and why you might just want to set them to attack. Because when they're firing, these guys in back are not pushing forward. So instead of being here, 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 and like surrounding him, they're sitting back here and just throwing off these absolutely useless javelins. Now, this is the AI, so of course, it's a little bit different, and they kind of need to do a one-size-fits-all script. They don't script specifically against your nation. Hey, look, it looks like they actually did damage, which is really amazing. So in the back, we haven't seen anything come from these guys except for luck. We do have a little bit of mine burn, but even mine burn isn't going to do a whole lot of damage. It's going to do maybe 20 damage. And maybe that's what it was like these guys got hit by a mine burn. I'm kind of curious about that. Unit overview. See if some of these guys actually did get a sage mine burn. Okay, so if you see this is what happens when you actually cast a mine burn. So the penetration roll, that 11 is going to be his oh, my brain is going. That's the base. That's his penetration plus a base of 10. So that means he's got a penetration of 11 total. Plus he gets 6 from his from his 2d6. So he rolled 2d6 and got 6. My partner rolled 2d6 and got 7. But he gets to add 18. So let me do the modifiers. So plus 18 is his magic resist. 11 is the offensive modifier, and then these two are their rolls. And if you see, it's going to take a plus 7 to do any damage to this Neefle Giant. And even then, it's non-fatal damage. Now, when Soul Slay comes out, we're going to be talking a little differently. Okay, Starfire actually did. Okay, so uh he casts Starfire and actually hits. Okay, so let's talk about what happens when we get an exploding dice roll. Now, if you see, there's the 11 that he gets as his modifier. So here's the modifiers: is the 11 and the 18, and here are our dice rolls. On 2d6, he gets a 15, and on our 2d6 dice roll, we rolled a 6, and that's just bad luck. Again, if you roll a 6, so let's say that he rolls, in this example, say he rolled a 1 and a 6. 2d6, 1 is a 1 and 1's a 6. So he takes that 6 and he rolls that 6 and it comes up a 6 again. He can do a 6, he can re-roll it again. So at this point, he's gotten a 1, a 6, and a 6. He's up to 13. He rolls that last one and it's a 2. 2 doesn't get re-rolled, so he gets a 1, a 6, a 6, a 2, for a grand total of 15. Now that's just theoretical, but like it's exploding dice, and it always has that option, and it's actually like it's not common, but it's not uncommon because you got 2 dice, and there are hundreds. I mean, each one of those arrows is a dice roll. Every single one of the spells is a dice roll. Every swing of the sword is a dice roll. So exploding dice happen. Now, how much are they gonna explode? Well, that's a little bit, it's a little bit more predictable. But they do happen. And if we had something like this and it was a Soul Slay, that Neefle Giant would be dead right now. Just straight up 999 damage. But since it's a Mind Blast, we're gonna be doing our damage roll, which is it's 12 for the straight up damage. That's how much Mind Blast does, 12 damage. And then it's a 2d6 roll, which he rolled a 3, which is really nice. We don't get any defense, but we do get a roll. So it was his 15 versus our 7. And so we take 8 points of damage. We've got like 60 something hit points. It's not going to matter at all. So the mind burns are kind of meh versus these Neefle Giants because they've got a high magic resist and they've got a high hit point pool. So again, high magic resist, high hit point pool. We're not afraid of Mind Blast. We are afraid of Soul Slay, but they don't have any Soul Slayers. Soul Slay needs a Astral 3, if I remember correctly, and these guys are Astral 1 with a Pearl. So like they're fatiguing out from casting Mind Burn, which who cares? It doesn't do any damage to us. So this is kind of his ideal. Now, not only that, but he has gotten himself some really cool magics going. He has cast himself mirror. What was this one called? I can't remember what it's called, but what ends up happening is that you get like I think he's got 3 illusions of himself. So when they want to hit him, they got to roll a 1d3, and if it's the real one, it kills the illusions. If it's a fake one, it keeps the illusion going. And so I don't know. I kind of wish it would just kill the illusion if you hit it once, so it would be just a free hit. If you do hit, I don't know. This is super powerful, and we're gonna see it again later. I think it's called Mirror Image, or maybe maybe I'm thinking another game where it is Mirror Image. What's funny is I'm not seeing it cast here, and maybe I'm just missing it. So, but he's gonna be near impossible to even hit, let alone kill. So at this point, they're gonna start going through and just choppinating all these guys. Our bloodlust is gonna just go overboard. Here's the little more just having a grand old time. Now he is taking damage from those from the arrows. He's not as protected, but I still don't think it's very much because he doesn't have a shield. And then we just chop him dead. And by the end, we've killed 202 guys, and they killed 4 of our undead guys that are crap. So Misfortune won 10 death gems, and we're finally starting to get some good events other than those item events. And it really feels like that's the way it's been going with me, where it's either really good events or just bad ones. Let's look at the magic sites real quick. We got 2 gems from there. We got 1 gem from there, and we've got 2 gems from there. So all in all, 5 gems in 1 turn increase in income. Now the majority of that, of course, is in my partner's territory. I don't get to see if he finds anything in my territory. I just get it. It's not like negative, but yeah, it's not a negative to my to like it. I still get the site. I don't get the cool pop up like you found a magic site. But what we can do is go to the score graphs real quick and see the gem income. If you see his is going way up, where mine is kind of staying mediocre. I blame him for not searching my sites. Nah, it's also me. And I'm also getting my guys into position. Now I am making a charcoal shield right now. I don't think. Do I have the ability to forge a? I do. Okay, I don't know why I'm not making a vine shield. Vine shield I feel would actually be better, but I think at this point I was thinking the charcoal shield does better because it kills guys. And I'm like, oh, if you kill them, it's better. Well, not really, because charcoal shield doesn't immediately kill the guy. So the vine shield makes it so they stop attacking, and when they stop attacking, you're able to murderize them, or in my case, have that fear take effect, and you're kind of just slowing up the battle and allowing your regen to make sure that you don't die. But at the time, I thought charcoal shields are the coolest in the world. Um, Let's go over diplomacy. There's not a lot to diplomacy. Let me look at the map real quick and see if there's anything else going on. As you can see, like our borders are pretty much firmed up. Hinam is also starting to do a lot of site searching. I have not heard much from anybody over here. I don't know what's going on, and I think that the only wars that are going on. I did talk to TC a whole lot. I think the only wars that are going on right now are the Abyssia War and then the war that we had, which is coming quickly to an end. Other than that, the world's at peace, which is ideal for us because we can start looking. We've got a large chunk of territory, and since we've got a large chunk of territory, we can get a large chunk of the gems. And if we just sit around and let's say theoretically this went on for 20 years, we would have 20 years of gem income compared to their 20 years of gem income, and it would be a huge divergence of who has the actual income, which is exactly what we want. Now we do see this big old stack on our border, which is starting to scare us, but I have gotten my revenge. Because you see this army, yes, that's right, I have 42 ogres. Um, and you're like, 42, what do you mean? Well, I put an effigy on this guy. I'm sorry, I have 52 guys. Um, and I did this because I know this player here, and I was screwing with them, and I was kind of being just a jerk, and I don't know if this is a response to this. I don't think it was, but I felt when I saw this, and I don't know when I catch this, guys, but I like sent a message. I'm like, oh my goodness, I meant to do it for 1 turn and scare the crud out of you, and then you know it. Like if you see an army there 1 turn and then it's gone the next turn, just realize it might be an effigy. And I just use this to screw with them. But his army's hitting here too, so we're getting a little bit nervous because we don't think we have a nap 3 with these guys. We keep on trying to talk to them. We're like, do we have a nap 3 with you? But like I said, like with this it was such convoluted, and it's one of my mistakes diplomatically. This game it was how we played with Mictlan in Lanka. Let's go to mercenaries real quick. Dagon, we are gonna bid on Dagon again because he's awesome. We're not bidding on the shipwreckers because they're gonna go do a suicide charge into the Sea of Karakos. My partner is coming down here and doing some searching of this territory. We're to come take back Barn and crush those guys, and hopefully we'll actually remember to put some PD in. I'm looking through, and I'm not seeing any other stupid moves that I might have done. Oh, that's kind of cool. How would I get 25 in Salam? Yeah, it must have been a free PD event, which are always really nice because what happens is like this is a patrol strength of 11. Sometimes this will actually find scouts. It's not a very high chance, but exploding dice and all. Okay, so again, I'm moving this guy up because I have been promised not Alm but Turtle Glades. I told him just to keep a hold of Alm. His like 349 gold. We don't need 100 income to be lost just because I want Alm or I want this. Really, what it is the gems. Although looking back, maybe the silver mine would have been worth more for me, but I doubt it. I really do doubt it. Oh, I got a convent. I didn't realize that. Um, Oh man, that would have been really nice for me. I think I would have really liked a couple of those and had him. I didn't realize he had that. I could have had him come over here and actually help me be able to recruit troops again. I am building another palisades here. We're finished recruiting a Dione here. I am kind of living on the edge here because if I, somehow don't make 490 gold in a turn, I might not be able to get a Dione, which would really suck. The research, I'm still on Conjuration, but if you see, I hit Conjuration 4, and then I'm moving on. And before I was doing Conjuration 5 for the Daitengu, and I still really want the Daitengu, don't get me wrong, but at this point, we need Construction 6. And if you listening to what I said about Construction 4, you probably have a good idea of why I am going for Construction 6. I want the research items. I want the lightless lanterns. So let's look real quick and see what we're making. We're making a charcoal shield. We're making a ring of regeneration. Now, this is early on in my ability to understand super combatants. Really sucks. Ring of regeneration is crap. It's just utterly junk. Now, it's not bad on like a nation that doesn't already have regen built into the into the chassis, but mine can bless himself, and that blessing has regeneration. So we don't really need this ring of regeneration. It gives us twice as much. But let me just tell you, when it comes to regeneration, it more matters whether you have it or whether you don't, especially if you have a large hit point pool. A guy that's getting 6 HP per turn or 12 and he's got 60 hit points, if he's going to die and he's, and he's if he's going to die from only getting 6 hit points per turn, he's probably going to die if he's only getting or if he's got 12 instead. At that point, you don't have a regen problem. You have a hit, or you have a protection problem, or you have a hit point problem, or some other problem that. Don't get me wrong. I mean, extra regeneration never hurts, but I think that you need to be looking at something else that will that you're looking for something else other than regeneration. And so the first bit of regeneration is always the strongest. Not that you can't. I think there are things that rely exclusively on regeneration, but okay. So a turn late. I'm sorry, guys. It's getting a little bit late here, and it is definitely during the week. Past my bedtime. Oh man, I decided getting old. It stinks. They used to go till 4 in the morning every night, and now it's like it's 10:30. It's time to go to bed. Um, Dwarven Hammer, this was a turn late. I should have done this last turn. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if. Yeah, this is literally the guy that moved here. So maybe my bad. Maybe it was, grand scheme of things, doesn't matter. But yeah. We're also starting to do dowsing, sanguine dowsing rods for my partner. We're going to start sending things off. And we're also getting our first Boots of the Messenger. Now let's go over Boots of the Messenger because they are good, but they are not the best and why they are good and why they are not good. Well, Boots of a Messenger give you Reinvigoration 3, which is very nice. When you cast your spells, you gain fatigue, and this will reduce that fatigue by 3. That's not a whole lot, but it does add up over 10 or over 10 turns, which isn't a lot. That's your standard script that isn't a standard script of standard spells. 100% casting time takes 10 turns to get through. This would give you an extra 30 regeneration during that time, which isn't bad. It might give you another spell, and it might also get you to the point where you're not where you're near fatigue neutral, which is very important for a super combatant. Like I said, once you hit about 50 fatigue, you're more likely to be critically hit. So we want our fatigue to be below 50. So we get off our script. We've gotten 30 less fatigue because of these boots, and then we go into combat and we start wrecking face. Now, why aren't they perfect? Well, it would be nice to get reinvigoration from another source, and there are better boots. Well, what do you mean there's better boots? Well, we haven't gotten there quite yet. right now, these are the best boots we can get, but they aren't the best that are available. They are probably the best at construction 4, though. If you're looking for the map move, if you're like, oh my goodness, map move is awesome. Don't get me wrong, it does help us, but the boots of the long stride are. Oh wait, are they not better? Oh no, I'm getting these guys mixed up with I'm getting these guys mixed up with the construction 6 ones, which is I okay, so just ignore me. They're, right now these are also our best map move, which we're going to be utilizing as well. There's also a better one for those as well, but that's construction 6 as well. We continue to search for more magic sites. We haven't hit a lab. We do not want this guy to have Tempest in his hands, but I need to go and start searching all these sites very badly. Again, site searching. Again, site searching. We're gonna come site search this one. In all honesty, I think. Oh wait, no, he's not okay. Good. This guy. I was trying to figure out why we're moving here. We're moving here because we want to build another temple. Are we building any other things other than that palisade there? It doesn't look like it. But we're getting ready to build another temple there in site search and just do everything else that we've already been doing. So yeah, that's the end of turn 24. Let's move on to turn 25. Turn 25. Okay, as I said, battle wise, this is gonna get a little bit boring, but like I don't. I'm gonna be honest. This series wasn't about me getting battles. Wasn't about getting fights or interesting. And it was learning super combatant, and that's what was important to me. So finding looking for magic sites was the exciting part. And if you can see, I picked up Conjuration 4, and I've also picked up Construction 4, and I've asked for Niflheim to give me these death gems because this is where it gets really interesting. This is where at this point it's my options are starting to expand. I'm able to start playing around with some of these different builds, and I'm talking to my buddy. I'm saying like, what about this? What about that? And I make my mistakes. I make my charcoal shield. I send my guys with absolutely no armor in against a throne and die. And you'll see as I go forward, I get better and better. And I don't claim to be the best super combatant guy. I still think I've got a lot to learn from my partner. But I'm not by the end of this. I hope to be at the point where I don't have to ask him every turn what is this stupid, or in him normally saying no, but still occasionally saying yeah, don't do that. But then you get like things like this, which just tilt me to no end, like no magic sites found. And I think that at this time, like this turn, I went to my partner. I'm like, this stinks. I'm checking, so many magic sites, and he's like, nah, it's okay. I made up for it. He got like 6 gem this turn worth of stuff. Real quick. Okay. So my partner has crud. Don't look. It's totally spoilers, and I ruined it. I ruined it. He has hired the mercenaries and is now clearing out this lake next to us, which is absolutely wonderful. These shamblers are utter crap. They look really cool, and if you have shamblers, I think that Ryla has them. Uh, Middle Age Relay has them, and they just suck. Not that these guys are much better, but I think we have more of us, and sometimes what did Napoleon say? God favors the larger armies, or maybe probably divisions or columns. I don't know. Depends on what Napoleon was in the mood for that day, I'm sure. Okay, so let's view this battle. Okay, so we're gonna go in here and we're gonna suicide. So these guys have got a wonderful chance. I mean, they are well armored. Look at that protection all the way at 13. And even if these guys die, I'm sure this guy can solo all of this. Okay, so let's seriously look at what they've got. Slave troopers are utter crap. I don't know. He's got to have some sort of morale. Yeah, led by Taskmaster +3 experience. So he's got +5. Their basic morale is 7. If it wasn't for all of these boosts, they would run on a dime, and I might actually have a chance. These shamblers are actually pretty cool. They deal a ton of damage. They got a pretty decent amount of hit points, and but they're slaves as well. But who cares because they got a morale of 50. What's really gonna be scary is this guy. This guy has an enslaved mind, so he actually has the ability to take some of my troops over, which is kind of interesting. So if I come in here against this stack, I'm gonna have to make sure I have really high MR, and even then, this guy's gonna get off 5 rounds of enslaved mind. So I need to pick my guys very closely, because the way that enslaved mind works, and the same thing with soul slay, is that it looks first for a big load of hit points, and then once it looks at the hit points, it says, well, is the magic resist worth trying to go after that big old pile of hit points? And if you see this guy's got like magic resist 20, even though he's got 84 hit points compared to 12, 16, 12. His magic resist would tell the AI, hey, don't go after this guy for enslaved mind. He might be a ton of hit points, but his magic resist is going to mean that you're not going to get him. And then they're going to look at these shamblers and say, oh my, look at this magic resist, look at these hit points, and it will immediately take over the shambler. They don't care what the chassis is. They don't have some ranking list of oh well, these guys have got an amazing protection, or these shamblers are utter junk. Like if you have a meteorite guard from MA Relay is a good example. You'd rather have the meteorite guard than these guys. But all it cares is high hit points, low magic resist, and that's kind of what they use for that. And so you can kind of fool the system by doing that, and there are some ways that I think you should prepare if you're going against enslaved minds. Nice thing is, I won't have to. I don't see coming down here anytime soon. And even if it did, I'd probably come down here with one guy with a high magic resist. If you see, we just immediately get crunched. Now, the good news is that he didn't steal any of our troops, which is kind of cool. I do appreciate that. We did kill a guy, and these guys are dead, so nobody else can take them. They're mine. Okay, Battle and Barm, I thought. Okay, so we're gonna come in here and we're gonna eat up a bunch of militia. We shouldn't take any losses. Oh man, I am ashamed. Time for some seppuku. Okay, but yeah, the militia utterly just get demolished. Okay, handful of gems, and we're gonna start getting a lot more gems through this. And then that sucks. A great turmoil. So the lords have started attacking each other. Send in the troops. Okay, so we have a sneaking enemy. What? What? Oh, okay. So maybe I didn't realize it, but there must have been. Oh, the -2 Dominion I was getting. Okay, so if you look back in the last episode, we've been getting -2 Dominion in this territory. And so what I finally got sick of it and was like, that's it. I'm getting rid of them. Because let's go over how Dominion spreads. So I'm gonna go over a temple check, and you get a bunch of these per turn, but every temple gets a temple check in their own province first, and you can see how many temple checks you get from here, the Dominion spread chances per month. So let's take this temple for example, where I just found this guy. The temple first comes into this territory and says, is there a candle free? And if there, because my max temple is 6, and right now it says, oh, 6 candles, I will go to a random adjacent province, and then it picks this province and says, is there 6? Okay, well then I'm gonna go to another random adjacent province, and it says 6 candles. Okay, another one. Okay, 4 candles. Okay, I'm going to try to spread here, and I think, if I remember correct, and I'm gonna have to look this up, that if it fails here, that it will continue on its way, but I could be wrong on that one. But I do know that if it hits an enemy candle, like right here, that it will try to convert a candle, and if it fails, then that's the end of the temple check. Oh no, and then if it comes across something like this where there are no candles, it automatically spreads. So that's why initially you'll always see that your candles always seem to spread. And that's kind of how it works, is that it'll just go place to place until it hits unfriendly domain. And that's why you kind of want your temples on the front. Like I'll have oh, he's searching. I'm out of money, that's why. putting your temples on the front are good because the first check it will do is right there. So it'll check the province that it's in, and then it will go out from there. Well, if I have this one in the middle of my territory, losing candles, a lot of my temple checks will be wasted on here until I get this taken care of. So that's why I really wanted this taken care of, is just so I could start pushing my dominion, get my turmoil out, so on and so forth. Okay, we are going to attack this territory right here, but we're just gonna ping it. I have been recruiting these guys from, I want to say that from here. Yeah, we were recruiting this to because we wanted to fight against the like I was worried about Vanheim attacking us. Go figure. Once we did kill those stupid those stupid mercenaries, of course Abyssia finally gets their capital back, and I'm just it made me cry. I believe Abyssia at this point is AI though. Just so you know. But what we see is, the question is, why is it now? Why is it free? Well, we have a diplomatic change in the world, and the world has gone to war. Now, what does this mean? Okay, so first of all, Vanheim and Pan are now at war with Hinnom and Femoria. Our diplomatic our diplomatic attempts have paid off, and I'm kind of curious, from the Pan players or the Vanheim players, or the anybody else involved in this, like, what was your motivation in doing this? Because I know for a fact, uh TC, I keep saying Torn Conquerdon. Tianxi was working very hard to get us to fight against Femoria, and I think that the first shots in this war were done by Femoria and Hinnom. So I don't know why they went to war with Pan, but they did. I know that they didn't want to go to war with us because at the end of the day, we're not easy to hit. We're not easy to kill. But at the same time, I wouldn't imagine that Pan and in Vanheim are the easiest. Especially when you've got Mictlan that looks very small here. Now, that being said, I still believe they're a good matchup versus Pan and Vanheim, but it's not going to be a fast war. It's not going to be a war like this one that we had here. And not only that, but it's kind of asking us to get involved. Torn Conquerdon here, Tianchi and Baratos have said signs that they're going to be entering this war, and they're going to be entering it against Hinnom and against Hinnom in Femoria. But if they're smart, they're going to wait until Pan kind of does a little bit of damage or takes the brunt of the hit, or these troops are well within Pan's borders, so that it's going to take turns to redeploy and to be able to get a better to get a better positioning. And the nice thing about Baratos is, like, they're right here. They can just, like, come up here and sneak out and take Abyssia right off the bat, and maybe just take like a big old chunk of territory and say, "Hey, Femoria, do you want to go to peace now?" And they kind of take this territory from Vanheim and from Pan, still deal some damage to Hinnom, so they're part of the war. But that would be a very good play on their part. So I still have my effigy. Blanca is still sitting here with a ton of troops, and as far as I know, we don't have an app 3. We're still site searching. We have started to patrol this down, and hopefully within the next couple turns we'll be able to start recruiting here again. Let's look and see what we're making. We're making Skull Mentors monthly now, which is absolutely great. We've got a Dwarven Hammer on it. Now, I could be using the Death Gems for a numerous number of things, but I want research. We're making another Dwarven Hammer, and we're just trying to pump out as many Dwarven Hammers as we can at this point. Okay, so I have created my first thug, and I must have missed this Mace of Eruption, or maybe I redid my turn. But we did see the bracers. We saw the ring of regeneration. We saw the boots of the messenger. The horror helm. So I remember going over all of these things. But I don't remember hitting the mace of eruption. The mace of eruption is a poor man's uh brand, and it's gonna be and I call it the poor man's brand uh because you can make it on construction 2. So construction 4 has the ice brand, I think. I'm not sure on that one. It might be construction 6. But you can't get the fire brand until construction 6. And it is superior if I remember correctly. In fact, I know it is. But Base of Eruption still does AoE, which is absolutely wonderful. So this guy, I've because I've been getting the oh no, not Pretenders, Hall of Fame. I'm starting to like really start getting a lot of guys in this Hall of Fame. And like Hirafume is awesome and Kitaro is awesome, but we needed to start naming guys. And I'm kind of learning that from my Band of Brothers game, is that like when you name your guys, it kind of makes you start knowing the difference between them. So I didn't know a cool name, so I just like Dot. And I thought that was witty and clever, and you can all agree with me and laugh right now. So so it, I was at a loss. I should have talked to Vish. I should have talked to my partner. He would have came up with something witty and intelligent. And what I'm doing with this is that I'm using the horror helm to try to increase the fear. I'm going to be using the ring of regeneration to keep my hit points high. The bracers are to get my protections already at 23, which is incredibly high. Let's look at the oh sorry, the script I've got now. I don't have Iron Skin yet, which kind of sucks. So Alt 4 or Alt 3 would be very nice. Alt 4 would be even better. This is kind of risky because I don't have Alt 4, which is Temper Body or Temper Flesh, and Alt 3, which gives me Iron Skin. But let's go over what each of these does. Earth Power exists to be able to cast these two spells for cheaper, and it also gives me some regeneration, kind of like what my boots do. It makes my fatigue go lower. Blessing gives me my regeneration and about 6 other things. Right now, my Bless is freaking awesome. This is the Bless right here, which is a whole bunch of resistances, some morale, which is surprisingly necessary, regeneration, and blood surge, and that's going to be very important. The blood surge is going to be really nice too. Uh, Leeches of Steel will come on here, and they will. Oh, it's kind of interesting. If I do have any guys with 2 bracers, oh no, it's not going to show. The one of the new things the patch did is that it made it so double bracers aren't a thing anymore. The double bracers was really strong because you could get like 2 protection to your head, 2 protection to your body, and 2 defense. And when you cast Legions of Steel, it bumps up this to 4 and this to 4. So you're getting 4 protection to both your head and your body, which is really big. And not only that, but like you're already getting +2 to your because of the copper plate. Plus, I'm getting stone skin, and at the end of the day, my natural protection is going to be boosted. My earth magic's really high. My armor value is really high, and my protection is going to go through the roof. And we'll see that in the next episode. But this was one of those things that my partner was kind of like, I think it'll work, but it might not. He was a little bit worried because of this copper plate, and the charcoal shield. Looking back, I should have gotten a vine shield, and I should have gotten a black steel plate, but I don't think I had the earth gems for that. So all in all, kind of a poor man super combatant. This can take out an army if it's a crappy army, but mostly not. Um, and I know that I have like a vine shield. Well, how do you do that? Well, you just put this thing on this guy and then make a vine shield. And one of the things I think I made a mistake with this is I had this cool item, and I was so afraid of getting tainted through it and losing mages that I didn't utilize it to its absolute effect. And I think that was a mistake on my part. Okay, well, I think that's going to end the episode. I'm thoroughly exhausted, and y'all got to see just to give more idea. Okay, so I don't have lightless lanterns. I got this from an event. But when I get construction 6, these lightless lanterns, I can turn 97 gems into like 20 lightless lanterns, especially if I've got that those dwarven hammers going to town, which I do. I'm making more and more and more dwarven hammers. In fact, right now we're up to 1, 2, 3 dwarven hammers. That's if I yeah, okay, so I've got 3 dwarven hammers at this point. So I'm just going through them, and I did not. I hope that was there because I like moved it, but I don't know. But this guy has 26 research, and that's not even like the feathers kind of crap. That's like 12 research. I get 18 bonus research from items, which is just amazing. And I can put that on every single one of these guys, and every single one of these guys, and every single one of these guys, and every single one of, well, I mean, if they ever, oh no, of these guys, and every single one of these guys. And pretty soon, I'm getting 18 here, 18 there, and all of a sudden, I'm my research is back up to reasonable letters, levels. Right now I'm at 189. But I just wait, guys. This is gonna explode. We're done having crappy research. It is turn 25, and we're ready to have 1,000 research. I just straight up I want 1,000 research. So we'll look into that. It might take construction 6 before I get there, but we will be getting that soon. So I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Let me see if there's anything else. Nope. I keep getting worried that I'm missing something important, and then I'll come back next episode and be like, I should have done this. But yeah, that's the end of the episode. Come back. We'll see this throne get taken, or me die and lose 6 pieces of gear, and my partner being like, yep, should have gotten that vine shield. So come back to my next episode and see what happens. Have a good one. Bye.